What is up, guys? Sophia here, and I am back with another topic. If you are new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can stay updated on all of my content. And last but not least, don't forget to check the description box because I always put a lot of stuff in there, including my book specifically for single women, which you might be interested in. Because we are talking about single women topic, and what we're going to be talking about today is how not to interact with men, y'all. So I was watching this new Issa Rae's new show, and it is a reality show. I absolutely love it. But more than anything, it has definitely showed me the flaws of how women interact with men. And oftentimes they wonder why they get what they get when really you need to check the vibes that you give off, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. The first mistake, and I often see this, and I personally cannot understand it, is this astrological sign stuff. And let me show you what I'm talking about.
What's your sign again?
I'm an Aries.
Wow, interesting.
When's your birthday?
Scorpio, October 28th.
Ooh, I heard a couple things about you.
What'd you hear?
A little crazy, you know,
I just feel like
sometimes.
Scorpios are passionate.
So passionate fire.
Yeah, let's get a reading. Let's go. Tell someone if we're gonna be soulmates or not.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh yeah, I'm 26 too.
Yeah.
Scorpio vibes, so I'm gonna be 27.
Scorpio. I love Scorpios.
Do you?
I do.
You know, I'm here. We're about to have a good time.
Right.
What's your sign?
Sag.
You're a Sagittarius?
Oh, God.
No, honestly,
God.
no, that's good. I have a lot
Is
of
it?
Sagittarius friends. Yeah, and honestly, Sagittarius and Scorpios are actually really compatible.
So as you can see here, legitimately with these different men, she literally is like, what's your astrological sign? And is trying to say like this is indicative of compatibility. And it's not. Can we actually start to get to know people and have a conversation with them and determine that that is how you determine if somebody is your soulmate or if you are compatible with somebody or not? What we need to stop doing, and especially if you're Christian, because you know this is a faith-based channel and God specifically warns against looking at the sun, moon, and stars for predicting who you're supposed to be with and predicting your future. Can we actually just use common sense and say, hey, maybe I actually need to not categorize all Sagittarius, Virgos, or whatever the case may be in one lump thing. And maybe I actually need to just talk to this person and get to know this person, because what happens is, especially if you're deep into that, you're going to project a certain persona of that person onto them. Like if it's like Scorpios, oh, this all Scorpios, so you must be like this, or this must make us compatible. And realistically speaking, y'all, it don't mean anything. The only thing that it means is that this person was born on a specific day. Now, if you want to believe in that stuff and ask somebody, then fine. But take it with a grain of salt. Don't put so much weight on it that you feel that because somebody was born on a specific day, that this must make them your soulmate, because it doesn't. You know, you have to actually have a conversation with somebody to determine that. The next thing, and this is something that I see a lot, women, especially with this 50-50 controversy among women or being a provider when it comes to women. So for me, I'm not even going to take a specific side on this. Personally, I'm more of a traditionalist, but I also feel like anything can be worked on, and there is a time and a place to mention such things. And if you mention it too soon, then it could just come across as inappropriate or like you're a gold digger. So let's get into the clip and let me show you what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna live with a man. Like, I don't want to split bills. You're my man and you want to pocket something that you could pay for, you should just pay for that or not be my man. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Until you had that conversation.
Let's have the
Okay, so when you see this, you can obviously see it was kind of uncomfortable for the guy, right? Because a lot of the times we don't know what somebody will or won't do until we're actually in a relationship with them. This was her first time going on a date with this man. And so for her to kind of say, oh, I want a man to pay for rent, I want a man to do this, I want a man to do that, it's like it's too early for all of that. He don't even know if he want to see you past today, let alone pay rent and move in with you. And so here's was his response to her.
Everybody's situation is different.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's something you and your partner should figure out and come to some sort of agreement on, then you move forward from there.
If I'm gonna live with a man, like, I don't want to split bills.
which I completely feel is a completely appropriate response. He didn't say yes or no, and he just said that we'll get to it when we get to it. But see, her stubbornness kind of pushes men away because she's like, well, we can talk about it now. And all this other type of stuff. And all of this sends a red flag for the man, because sometimes women think that discussing these things early will actually kind of get everything out in the open and you can determine to keep going with him or cut him off. But realistically speaking, it's just simply too early to mention this type of thing on the first date or the first interaction. And then also, I'm going to show a clip here of another man that Bree had dated. And he actually, I think he's a millionaire. And I'm going to show you what he said about the situation.
That you want the full rent to be paid. That's me. I feel like going into a relationship thinking like that, definitely not me.
Yeah.
Maybe if you progress to that and I like
100%.
feel like, yo, I want to do this for you, I got you.
Yeah.
But off rip, nah.
And so realistically speaking, he is a lot right? Because like he said, when you're first meeting somebody, emotions aren't necessarily invested. A man is not necessarily going to know what he will or what he won't do. He might want to pay for the woman that he loves, rent, or be the maximum provider in the future if y'all end up together, just like he said. And more than likely, he probably would. But the fact that you kind of put it out there on Jump Street up front, it sounds like you want a lot. It sounds like you want too much. And it sounds like you just want to take, and it sends up red flags in his mind that you only want to find a man to use them for the money. Because realistically, if you're dating somebody, don't talk about money in the beginning at all. I think I have a video, and I'll try to remember to put it down in the description box, where I talk about how you can find out certain things about a man. Like if you're wondering if he has a job or if he is a provider or if he's doing something with his life, because I know that is a fear among a lot of women. But that can simply be asked like, oh, what did you do? Where do you go to school? Or those type of things. That can give you an indication on if he has a job or a career, or if he's just a bum or not, right? So, but what you don't say is, oh, well, I feel in the future the man needs to pay the rent and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you don't know this person, right? If it comes to y'all being in a relationship, that is something that y'all will get to. But don't count your chickens before they hatch, because you don't really know where it's going to lead with this person. And so don't start mellowing around in his pockets and talking about what you want him to pay for when he don't even know if he wants you to be his girlfriend or his wife, and you don't even know if you want him to be your boyfriend or your husband. Y'all haven't even gotten to that part yet, right? So the next one is giving red flags and showing indications that you're too clingy. I'm going to show you a clip on what she said, and then we'll talk about it.
Involved with not too long ago. She calls me, right? But I missed the call because I was legit in the booth recording.
Why'd you have your phone in the booth? I'm just kidding.
If I don't answer.
You got me in that moment. I can't lie.
Really?
Yes.
I think many women feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to let my standards be known up front, which is like, okay, that's fine. But the way she's coming across is coming across clingy. Like, if you don't answer my phone call, I'm going to be mad. If you don't answer, I'm going to be mad. And so once again, this kind of sends up red flags. I do think that maybe what she was trying to say, because there are some men where you will text them or you will call them and they will never respond back. And sometimes they might be with somebody else, right? I understand that that's a legitimate fear, but the way around that is to just be a woman of action and not telling. So if by chance this situationship would have progressed forward, right? Don't tell him, oh, I expect a man to answer my phone and all this other type of stuff. Don't mention any of that. But if you get along on the date, and if he calls you, or if there is a time that you call him or text him and he is leaving you on red and he's not texting you back and he's not calling you back for days and days on end, then he has told you all that you need to know, and then you go about your day. Or you communicate with him about it, and then you see if he changed. And if he doesn't, then you go about your day. That is how you kind of set the boundary for that. You don't need to like announce it on the date, because what it sends up is that you got attachment problems and that you're going to want him to be attached to your hip 24 hours a day. And most men don't want to do that. And that is going to turn most of them off. The next one is being vulgar. I honestly don't even know why women do this. Like, I know that they feel like, oh, I'm being flirtatious and I'm showing my interest. But to me, there is a difference between being flirtatious, because you can flirt, right? Like, you do want somebody to know that you're interested in them. If you're romantically interested in them, you don't want to just treat them like a robot or like you can't flirt with them. But then there's also crossing the line of being vulgar. And so I'm going to get into the clip and show you what I'm talking about.
The question is, when is the last time you had raw sex?
Raw sex?
Well, was it yesterday?
So this is vulgar because really it's inappropriate. Why are we taught? Like, I feel like y'all get the point that it's inappropriate. And so what women have to understand, that there's a difference between being flirtatious and then there's just a difference between being inappropriate. And asking a man who he likes to sleep with without protection is inappropriate. It is none of your business. If it ever got to a point that you were going to sleep with him, I still don't feel like that's appropriate. You can ask him to get an STD test or all that other type of stuff before you engage with him in that way. But don't in a public setting start talking about sex or start being particularly vulgar to the point that it crosses the line of being inappropriate. It's not sexy. It just comes across as you just being too thirsty and you don't have boundaries and you don't know what to ask a man and what not to ask a man. If a man would have came up to her and said, oh, when's the last time somebody went into you raw? What would you say to a man like that? So with females, I don't know why they feel that it is appropriate to say stuff like this, because it's not. Now, the last one that I'm going to get into is you have to watch the amount of drinks that you have, because I feel like a lot of these mistakes on her part probably could have been avoided, to honestly speaking, had she just not had so many drinks. And so I'm going to get into the clip.
I had 2 glasses of wine before here because I was like a little nervous.
Nervous in the good way, all right?
Yeah, I'm just...
And so as you can see, she had a few drinks before she got on the date. She had a few drinks here. She was drinking when she was asking some of these men these questions. And if you don't, I'm not saying that you can't drink, right? We all grown people. You could drink if you want to, but also know your limits and know that because I have been around drunk or people who drink and they are completely calm and they are completely fine. I have been around people who drink and they become completely inappropriate. They become, overly touchy, or they don't know what to say out of their mouth. You need to know where you fall in on that spectrum so that when you go out and you interact with men, that you're not too drunk where you're just saying anything or you're looking like a lush and now you have ruined his perception of you because, drinking makes us probably say and do things that we wouldn't normally do. But the thing about it is that the other person remembers those things, even if you were drunk or even if you don't remember. How you behave and how other people perceive you will stay in their mind. So never be out with a guy and drink more than what you feel you can handle to the point that you may say or do something that you're going to regret. All right, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys another day, another time. Bye, y'all. Not ready for the show to end? It doesn't have to. You can head over to my site where you can read hundreds of articles. And also you can feel free to shop my store where I have all of my products for sale. And last but not least, for even more video content, feel free to visit my YouTube channel where I talk about a wide array of content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, stay blessed.